Most men think the relationship ends the moment she walks out the door, bag in hand. But the hard truth? She was gone long before that. She left quietly, emotionally, piece by piece, over months, maybe even years. And you probably didn't even notice. Today, we're going to unpack the silent, often missed warning signs that a woman has emotionally checked out of the relationship, even while she's still physically there. Understanding these signs isn't about placing blame. It's about gaining the clarity you need to either save your connection or prepare for what's coming. Because by the time the silence becomes deafening, it's often too late. So let's start with the first and possibly the most misunderstood sign: when she stops fighting. A lot of guys breathe a sigh of relief when the arguments stop. They think, finally, some peace and quiet. We're getting along. But this is a dangerous misconception. When she stops arguing, when she no longer brings up the issues that used to bother her, it's not a sign of peace. It's a sign of detachment. Think about it. Arguments, as frustrating as they are a form of investment. She's fighting because she cares. She's fighting because a part of her still believes the relationship is worth fixing, that you are worth reaching. She's trying to bridge a gap. But when that stops, it means she's given up. She no longer sees the point in expending the energy because, in her heart and mind, the conclusion has already been written. The real death of love isn't announced with a bang of anger. It's a whisper of indifference. When her passion, even the angry kind, turns to quiet apathy, you should be far more concerned than you ever were during your loudest fights. She's not trying to fix it anymore because to her, it's already broken beyond repair. The second sign is what I call micro-withdrawals. These are the tiny, almost imperceptible shifts in daily intimacy that are easy to dismiss as stress, fatigue, or just a bad mood. But when they become a pattern, they are painting a very clear picture of her emotional exit. It starts with less eye contact. Remember when she used to look at you, really look at you, when you talked? Now, her gaze might be on her phone, the TV, or anywhere else but your eyes. The good morning text stop, or the good night you used to share becomes a routine mumble into a pillow, if it happens at all. Your long, deep conversations are replaced by short, one-word replies. You ask how her day was, and you get a simple fine. You try to share something about your day, and you get an, "Oh, nice," without any follow-up questions. You're attributing this to her being busy or tired. But what you're actually witnessing is the slow, methodical construction of an emotional wall. Each micro-withdrawal is a brick. She's pulling back her energy, her attention, and her affection, one tiny piece at a time. It's her emotional exit strategy playing out in slow motion right in front of you. This leads us to the third sign, the validation shift. Every healthy relationship has a feedback loop of approval and admiration. You are each other's primary source of validation. You're the first person she wants to tell when she gets a promotion, the person whose opinion she values most on a new outfit. But when she's emotionally checking out, that validation source shifts. Suddenly, she doesn't seem to care as much about what you think. She stops looking to you for that confidence boost or that word of encouragement. Instead, she starts seeking it elsewhere. This can manifest in many ways. Maybe she's spending a lot more time on social media, posting more selfies, and getting a rush from the likes and comments from strangers. That dopamine hit is a substitute for the connection she no longer feels with you. Or perhaps it's a coworker who suddenly gets all the funny stories from her day, the one she texts for advice. She might pick up new hobbies or join new groups where she feels seen and appreciated by others. It's not necessarily about cheating in the physical sense. It's about finding an external source to fill the emotional void that has grown between you. Every like, every compliment from someone else reinforces her decision to detach. She's learning to live without your approval, which is a critical step in learning to live without you. The fourth sign is one of the most painful and confusing to witness. She begins rewriting your shared history. The narrative of your relationship starts to change. The beautiful memories you thought you shared are now retold with a different, darker spin. That quirky thing you did that she used to find charming is now framed as annoying or selfish. That vacation where you thought you had a great time is now remembered for the one small argument you had. She starts to position herself as the long-suffering victim in the story of your relationship. Now, this is crucial to understand. This is rarely an act of intentional, malicious cruelty. It's an internal, psychological mechanism. It's her subconscious mind trying to justify the emotional distance she's creating. To leave a relationship, especially a long-term one, is incredibly difficult. To make that final break, she needs to believe it's the right, even righteous, thing to do. By recasting your history and painting you as the antagonist, she's building the emotional armor and moral justification she needs to eventually walk away without crippling guilt. She's convincing herself that leaving isn't a choice she's making, but a necessary escape she's been forced into. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and final stage before the physical end, the peaceful roommate phase. This is the eerie calm after the storm you didn't even realize was brewing. The anger is gone. The frustration has evaporated. The sadness is hidden. What's left is a polite, distant cordiality. She's not confrontational. She just agrees to disagree by not engaging at all. She might ask if you've eaten or remind you to take out the trash, but it's with the same emotional investment as she'd have with a housemate, not a partner. Intimacy becomes a chore she's too tired for. Conversations are purely logistical. You are coexisting in the same space, but you are no longer sharing a life. You are living with her body, but her heart, her spirit, her emotional core is somewhere else entirely. This is the most dangerous phase because it can feel deceptively stable. There's no drama, but the absence of conflict isn't harmony. It's the sound of a connection that has flatlined. You're living with the ghost of the woman you fell in love with. And tragically, this is often the point when most men finally wake up and realize something is deeply wrong. They see the empty space beside them in the bed and finally feel the chill. But by then, she's already gone. She didn't just stop loving you overnight. It wasn't a single event or one big fight. It was a slow erosion. It was 1,000 tiny moments where she stopped feeling seen, stopped feeling heard, and stopped feeling desired. It was the accumulation of needs unmet and calls for connection that went unanswered. And by the time you finally wake up to the deafening silence, she has already completed her emotional journey away from you. The physical departure is just the final formality. If any of this resonated with you, if it felt uncomfortably familiar, please don't just scroll away and forget it. Don't dismiss that feeling in your gut. These signs are a wake-up call. They are your opportunity to look at your relationship with open eyes, to have the hard conversations, and to start showing up in the way your partner has been silently begging for. Learn these signs before they become your regrets. It might be the most important thing you do for your relationship today. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that helps you navigate the complexities of life and relationships. We'll see you in the next one.